Hey everybody, my name is Morgan, and I have decided to start a channel called Transitions. I've been wanting to do something like this for probably the past 3 months, and my goal is really to empower people, empower people with information, and take away some of the anxiety and fear that is rampant uh, in society, really, as far as transgender identifying people come off. So, this channel really is here to kind of be that voice to show people who we are, that we're not different, and that all we want is just to live our lives. This first kind of vlog episode is really just kind of going over who I am as a person and why I decided to do the things that I did. It's not going to be super long or too terribly in depth, but I really hope that you will stay and watch, because there are so many misconceptions about what transgender people want and what we're doing in the world. And so hopefully I can answer some of those things, at least from my personal experience, and just show you how normal I am as a person. So with that out of the way, I guess we can go ahead and get started with, I guess, the first point, which is, who am I? So my history is pretty short as far as knowing who I am. I am very fortunate to be able to be in the circumstances that I am, just because a lot of people don't have the flexibility like I do. That doesn't mean that I haven't had to sacrifice anything or give up a lot. As you'll hear soon enough, I've given up quite a bit recently. So I guess my story kind of starts when I was a kid, and just feeling like I didn't really fit in with any group. I had friends, boys, girls, from all, outside looks. I probably wasn't that strange. But inside, I could feel that I just didn't belong with them. I felt like I was missing something, or I don't know what you would call it. Maybe it just didn't feel right for me to be where I was and who I was. But when I was growing up, which was pretty much the 90s into the 2000s, there wasn't a lot of acceptance for any kind of LGBTQIA plus people. There was a lot of denial from all kinds of places about how your orientation had to be, and having thoughts about, sleeping with the same gender, or even trying to transition your gender from male to female or female to male. It was really looked down upon. And in my family, especially, I grew up in a very Christian household. And my parents were very firm on, you're a boy. You cannot act like a girl in any circumstance. You cannot show any kind of feminine side at all. And it was doubly worse because my dad is a very manly man on the outside. 6'3", did all kinds of sports when he was growing up. And it just, wasn't how you expressed yourself. You didn't show any kind of emotion, and you didn't cry about anything, and you just sucked it up, right? If you get knocked down, you brush yourself off, you get right back up. That's how it was growing up. You couldn't show any kind of weakness to anyone. And as I encountered that in my life, I felt like I have to be wrong. What I'm feeling isn't right. What I'm feeling goes against what I'm being told I can be. But it didn't stop the dreams. It didn't stop the thoughts. It didn't stop anything. And so I guess as I got older, those thoughts were there, but I just didn't know what to do with them. I didn't really have anyone in my life that was what you would call liberal in their way of thinking. And so I just grew up thinking that how I was wrong. There wasn't anything right about me. And so we moved because at that time we were living in California, and we moved to Texas, a very conservative place, if ever there was one. And, we would go to church. We would hear about how, homosexuality is a sin. All these things are sins. And I just never connected with it. I could say the right things. I could be the person that agrees with you, but inside it just didn't feel right. So I eventually made my way into school, and from there into nursing school, because I was really big on helping people and ensuring that those people that did not have a voice to care for themselves could count on me to be that voice. And so I met who would end up becoming my wife in nursing school, because that was how it was supposed to be. I was a man, and a man could only love women. And ultimately the goal was you get married, you have a family, and you die, and that's it, right? I don't even think there was a live happily ever after included in that. It's just that's what it was. And maybe one of those days you get to go see God, because again, that's just what it was growing up. So we ended up getting married and had 3 kids, beautiful kids. I love my children. But it still never felt right. I kind of pushed everything down to ignore what I was feeling. And it kind of culminated last year. I started just not feeling physically well, mentally well. I just wasn't feeling well. And I started losing passion for life. I didn't see any kind of light for myself. I would go to work, I would come home, and it was just unfulfilling. I was living out what felt like, it almost felt like a movie where you had a script and you followed that script. There weren't any changes to the script. You just kept doing it.